Hi, this is Tim Hinton, the Beast of the Marching Arts. I'm the host of the Marching Roundtable podcast and the creator of MarchingArtsEducation.com. Thanks for being here at our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe so you can see exclusive live interviews, plus excerpts from podcasts, webinars, and interviews from live events. This is really the best way to find out what you might want to go back to our website and see an entire conversation. Thanks for being here. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel.
All right. My official name is Max J Mault. J stands for Joseph. I've been a band director, musician, teacher in the Goshen area, officially with Goshen Community Schools since 1976 to the present. I actually retired from teaching in 2016. I actually gave up the directorship for high school in 2000. That's when Tom Cox was hired. But I've known this guy to my right or the screen left, Josh Kaufman, because he was a student of mine and then came in, was actually part of the growth program of how we really got started. Because Kaufman worked with the Cavaliers and was in the Cavaliers. And so when he's part-time, in the summer, he would come and help us with our foot position and look at, the composition of the marching band. Literally, we would meet at some little restaurant outside of town, and we would look at the drill and comments, and then we'd both say, now, we don't need that, we don't want that, we want to add this. And that's really how this thing took off. So with guys like this, rather than me, I was just the dummy that went out and said, you know more than I do, can you help me? And so that's how it happened. So that's fun. Right now, I'm a part-time teacher in the Goshen system. I have an 80% contract, and I do strictly 6th grade band, 7th grade band, 8th grade band. I don't do any high school. So anything that's happened since 2016, it's these guys. So I'm just happy to still be a part of it.
So when you have someone like Josh sitting next to you and you've seen him, not only you started him as a beginning musician, but now you've watched that whole arc, that must feel pretty amazing.
Well, it's humbling because you see these guys and you realize that they're way better musicians than you are. And that's why this program became so good. Because like this guy here, he's also a monster alto player. He's a great musician. And so they just keep hiring people that are they'll try to find people better than they are to keep this boat afloat. That's how programs continue to be great. And they've done a great job.
I think Max is a little modest. When I came in 2000, I couldn't believe the way the middle school band played. It was unreal. And so that, we all know that good high school bands come from good middle school bands. And he's a little too polite, but he wouldn't toot his own horn. But we are as good as we are because the middle school kids have him as a beginning, when they start their instruments. And Max Johnson and, the other part of the team as well.
And we also have, through this, there's this guy by the name of Steve Yoder that was part of the initial growth plan in Goshen Community Schools. Steve Yoder came out of a program that's right down the road from us called Concord High School. And he was also a product of the Cavaliers. And he's a very fine teacher. So we were able to get him here on a part-time, and he took our drum line to a national level. Actually, if you look back far enough, his drum line, indoor drum line, was the first high school to win what you call a world champion indoor. Yeah, that's how good this guy was. And he was on our staff. So then you get Kaufman, you get Cox, and you get this Josh, you get Steve Yoder. And we've had great drumline guys all along. And presently we have Matt James, who's a very fine technician. He's our head percussion guy right now. So it hasn't just been one guy taking all the pictures. It's been all of us taking pictures. If you look at the people that you hire and that this program can expand and expand and expand. So you're always looking for the next great person to be part of your team. And so you've got enough people that you've come in contact with say, well, he has good credentials, but he's not the right fit. And so it's getting the right personality with the right talent. Absolutely.
So middle school, having great middle school players and getting a good start as a musician on their instrument is everything. It is so important. So how do you motivate those young kids to spend time on their horns when they're just starting?
Okay, the big thing is that you have to turn your rehearsal hall into a practice studio. So if you want the kids to learn scales, that's what you practice. You practice fundamental scales. You have to make the classroom the practice room, because you have to guide them through this entire thing, this entire fundamentals like good tone quality, what a key signature is, what a time signature is, what a whole note is. And then you have to demonstrate for them on your instrument what a good sound is and what it feels like. And so we do all that. These guys here, they pick up their horn daily and play for the kid. So it's not like, well, my band director doesn't play. I don't know what instrument he plays. Actually, if you go throughout the United States, there are many directors that after they graduate, never get the horn out of the case. That's not a good thing. So like Tom and Josh's jazz band, if you were to walk in there, you would see them with the saxophone and he would say, no, it goes like this. And then they would demonstrate the phrase on the saxophone. Or if they went to trumpet player to play this phrase, they can play all those parts. Now these guys play. So in Goshen here, all of us just play our instrument daily. Like when he teaches clarinet, he has a clarinet that he takes with him to the classroom. Can't believe that, right? And like Kaufman, he'll get a flute and off he goes to the flute room and he plays the flute for the kids and they go, oh, is that what that sounds like? Oh yes, every one of us do that. We don't just sit there and say, no, it's second valve, it looks like this. No, it sounds like this and looks like this.
And you'll hear Max play trumpet in the high brass class too.
Yeah. Yep, we all demonstrate constantly. And so obviously the kid who's sitting in the trumpet line or the clarinet line, if he hears you play, and like me, I'm 77 years old almost. And he says, well, that guy can play that way. How does he do that? Well, it's because you play daily. And so that's just a walking thing that we do. We play daily.
Which I think is one way to inspire the kids as well, because then they hear something that they can aspire to and they know what they're supposed to sound like. And then I think that we all also take care to teach them how to practice. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what to listen for, you know, how to isolate problem areas, how to repeat things. And that is just part of the band classroom so that hopefully when they go home on their own, they know somewhat of a process to go through to make themselves better. And then I know that we just say, all right, take them home and practice. Test tomorrow. I'm going to hear you play this tomorrow, so you better be better. And, you know, keep them on their toes, starting from a very young age. 6th grade is where it all starts. Yep.
So Max, they play for each other in front of each other in 6th grade class?
Oh, constantly. Oh,
constantly.
Yeah. Like
yes.
His daughter, I have this little coupon. It's kind of a caveat, you know, for ice cream. And if you can play this exercise and this exercise and this exercise by memory in front of the whole class, I'll give you this coupon. And then you go to Culver's and trade in the coupon. And so his daughter, Emmy, she got up in front of the class and plays all 3 of these nice little etudes. And other kids see that and go, well, if she can do that, I can do that. But the other side of the coin is you don't have to be perfect. All we want our kids to do is show a high level of mastery for the concept. It doesn't need to be studio perfect. It's just got to be a high level of mastery so we know that we can teach the next level. When I first started teaching, I was among the world's worst teachers. Literally, because when we come out of college, most of us don't come in like we're 20-year teachers. I mean, I had played with this Army band and I played with this road band. And then when I went into teaching, I thought everybody would be able to just play a chromatic scale in 7th grade. You know, da, 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 and they couldn't. And I was petrified. I'm going, what do you mean you can't know that? But some directors don't teach those fundamentals. There are two types of band directors in the United States, in my opinion. There are people who you call song bands. They pass out 4 or 5 songs at the beginning of the year, and they work on them all year long, and they teach them by rote. And then you have the people who teach fundamentals, and then they pass out some songs and try to apply those fundamentals to those songs. And that's what happens at Goshen. We spend enormous time teaching rhythms. Absolutely.
So how do you keep your kids excited about learning rhythms and fundamentals? Like you're doing something when you're standing in front of them to keep them engaged. Tell us about that.
Well, how about just sometimes you tell something about your life, like your past. Like I would tell my kids, I was probably the worst player in 6th grade. I mean, you guys played better than I did when I was in 6th grade. I am so proud of how you do things. And of course, they sit back and go, Mr. Mault, you're Joshy. You know, I'm being heartful, truthful. My band program met 2 times a week. Yeah, we met Tuesdays and Thursdays. This was in 1960s. I went to a country school. My biggest class would have been 17 kids when I graduated. Is that not amazing? 17, yeah. And so they love to hear all these stories about your past. If you don't incorporate your life into your classroom, you're missing the boat. They want to hear about your failures. They want to hear about your successes because you have to be a real human to them. So I think that's how I keep my kids interested. I talk about the times that I spent on the road with the road band. I talk about the amount of things that happened in the military. Like I'm a Vietnam veteran. I tell them crazy stories about, we have these little things you say, but if you brought it with you, take it with you. If you didn't bring it, leave it. Just these little things. And I'll go, what does that mean, Mr. Mault? And so then I explain it to them. They love hearing about your past. Enough people don't do that.
I think as a teacher too, if you're going to have fun with it, then the kids are going to have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
So if you're having fun teaching them, then they're going to have fun learning it. And then I like to celebrate their successes as much as possible and point out to them. Sometimes it can even be from Monday to Friday. You know, they couldn't at all do this thing that you're trying to do on Monday, and then on Friday of the same week, now they can do it. Mm-hmm. And just pointing out to them like, hey, do you remember this? We did this on Monday and it was atrocious. And now you sound really good on it. And because they don't see their own growth over time a lot of times, or maybe it's a month later, you say, you know, hey, remember a month ago we couldn't do this, you know, and now look at you, you're pros at it. So I think that kind of stuff too helps them see their progress and gets them excited about learning and having fun playing music.
We often say success breeds success.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're on, you know, we're doing chromatics a lot right now on clarinet, and maybe just for fun, because I can see them burning out, I'll go, pick a number out of the book that you want to play, and they'll go, oh, number 38, that's Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
And, you know, you let them do that. Today we were testing, so, you know, just kind of getting them set up for a test they're going to take. So we did the whole pick a number between 1 and 10. And they pick a number, and then we count down the line of clarinets, and okay, you try it for us. Then they get to pick a number between 1 and 10. And they try and figure out where their friend is sitting in the class, and then, you know, so, you know, like they said, if it's fun, they want to come back and they want to learn.
This is an odd story happened today. I never thought of it this way, but in 6th grade band today, we're playing these rhythms that we talk about that are kind of the backbone of our program. And so we're playing along, And so I said to the kids, if you make a mistake, you have to take the mouthpiece out, put it on your desk. You get to whistle along, play along, but you don't get to play the horn. So then we played again. This kid makes a mistake, and he takes his mouthpiece out and puts it on his desk. So the one kid said, this is kind of like a game, isn't it, Mr. Mault? I said, well, yes, it is kind of a game. And without getting mad at them, if you use a concept that helps promote success rather than makes it negative, then everybody will buy into the program. So if you want to play your horn, then I'll say, put your mouthpiece in, play it. If you play it correct, you get to keep the mouthpiece and the horn. They loved it. Rather than say, Johnny, that was a wrong note. Why can't you do that right? No, you make it kind of a game out of it, and they'll buy into it. Because nobody's perfect. So it's about having fun, like he was saying. Have fun.
So you've been having fun for a really long time teaching these kids. How do you stay motivated and enjoy the classroom after all these years? Because I do know a lot of people burn out. They lose that motivation. How do you keep it fresh? How do you love it day after day, Max?
Well, it's pretty simple. First of all, you surround yourself with people that are better than you. Literally. Like, this guy is just a great technician when it comes. He knows a lot about marching band. This guy is really good. He just loves to have things super correct. And he also does this. It's kind of a unique thing that he's more of a servant than being served. That's a kind of a unique concept in a teacher. Like, if he walks through the band room and he sees a piece of paper on the floor, he doesn't say, Josh, would you pick that up for me? He picks it up himself. When kids see that, they're going, oh, that's kind of cool. He didn't ask me to pick it up. So surround and we just kind of play off of each other. Like, if I do something really cool, and the other band director, like Max Johnson, will go, I'm going to try that tomorrow. Not like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I mean, they'll try it to see if it works for them. You just, in music, I guess, teaching concept, plagiarism is a good thing.
Just like jazz.
Yeah. You steal from somebody's riff all the time.
That's right.
This is probably from my wife more than anything. And also from my background. Because if you notice, I have a tie on today.
Every day.
Every day.
I've worn a tie every day since I've been teaching. And so I try, because it's an honor for me to be in front of you. And so I want to present the best person possible every day of my life. Because you only have so many days to get this done. And so I use every day. They'll tell you, they can walk into my classroom any day of the week and I go, my God, I'm just on these kids constantly. Well, I've been on them constantly since 1976. I want them to be successful. And like this little girl today, she came up and she said, Mr. Mault, I want to thank you for being tough on us. I'm going, really? She said, yeah, I like it that you are so strict in the classroom. Like Tom will say to me, Max, you're pretty tough on these kids, aren't you? And I'm going, yes, I am. But they seem to like it. They like organization. They like strictness. They like pats on the back. They like praise. Kids are the best lawyers in the world. They know when you're not being truthful. They know. They watch you every day and they're going, nah, don't believe that. They know. And so I think that's one of the great things about the way we do things here. They know, we know, and that we really care about them. It's not just a job. It's a career. That's the other thing that I don't like about people saying, do you like your job? Well, it's my career. It's not the job. I can go any place and get a job, but I chose this career. A career is something that you can put every ounce, every part of your life, energy into and you will never burn out if it's your passion and career. Truly. I mean, why would Brady still be playing football at this age? He has enough money. He doesn't ever need to make another penny. It's his passion. It's his love. It's his everything. It's his prayer for life. So that's what we do. We love being in front of these kids. I mean, you can come into this band room. There's so many trophies around here, you can't even see the wall. It's not really the trophy. It's the process to get the trophy.
I tell them the trophy's the memory of that day.
Yeah.
And you know, they're all up there, and it's just the memory of what that day was.
Being with these guys and being in a program that's top of in the United States, that motivates me to go to work. I mean, you know, this program wasn't always this way. Trust me, it wasn't. If you go back to 1975, 76, 77, Goshen probably never got a first in marching band or anything in those days. And it's not because the directors weren't good. It's just that I don't know what was lacking. Maybe vision, maybe passion, whatever it was, wasn't there. And I did my student teaching at Concord, and that band program was 3 times the size of Goshen, like 300 people in their program. And I'm going, what's the difference? So when they hired me to come to Goshen, I tried to make that program what they had there here. And guess what? It happened. So I had a good example, and I had a vision, and the program was right for the right person. That's what happened. And then you go out and look for people that will help you. And that's what I didn't do. I did very little by myself. I just went out and said, hey, Kaufman, don't you want to come and help teach the foot here? Hey, Steve Yoder, don't you want to come over and teach drums for us? And then you had these people like Ted Pethick, and they were former professional trumpet players. And we started this thing called Band-Aid, where the corporation would pay for like section people to come in and work with the trumpets and work with the clarinets. And we started doing all that because all the great programs, guess what they all have in common? All of these little pieces, don't they, guys? Mm-hmm. You know, they have a guard director, they have a writer, they have a drill writer, they have a high brass guy, the low brass guy, they have a clarinet, flute. All these people are on staff. And that's how you get a great band program. I mean, we produced a good thing here up until 2000. But these guys are just taking it, just keeps growing and growing and growing. That's the mark of a great program. You know, you as long as the people you hire in, if they have a bigger vision than you or have the same vision and they just amplify that vision, guess what? It gets better and better and better. For example, this band had never, ever gone to state finals in concert band. It had never made state finals in jazz band. Guess what it does regularly now? Makes state finals. That's a big deal. I mean, this is a little tiny school, really. Our demographics are crazy, but these kids just follow these 2 guys to the end of the earth. That's a mark of a great program. Great teaching.
But they learn how to do it because him and Max Johnson help, you know, get the middle schoolers off the ground.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Max, I think you've done an amazing job. I think you're being very, very modest. I think you've set the tone and created that sort of fertile ground for all of these things to happen. And I hope that you know how amazing what your work has meant to so many.
Well, I thank you for that. And I appreciate these guys because they do say, Max, you've done a good job. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being there. So we do compliment each other a lot. We try to hire people younger than me, okay?
Well, Max, thank you for coming over and talking to me. This was really fun. I had such a great time talking to you. Thank you for having this conversation with today.
Well, before you go, there's this one thing I need to say. In the early years, there's a guy that I worked with. His name was Dave Plank. He was my boss in the early years, okay? And so he helped us get this program. He helped getting the boat out of the harbor. I need you to know that.
He was also my band director as well.
So I don't want to minimize Dave Plank's name, okay?
Yeah, Dave helped get everything. The Invitational started.
Yep.
Now it's been 30 years. So
Mhm.
Mr. Plank is the person that hired me to take his place. And, you know, we needed to give him kudos for his vision and
Yes.
leadership as well.
So I just needed to get that name in there so that people don't go, well, he didn't mention. No, he was an important element in the school corporation, okay?
No, absolutely. Well, Max, it's been so great to talk to you. You keep doing that great teaching and helping all those students get off to a great start, and the great success at Goshen. It's nice, I hope you know that you've had such a big part in that being what it is and what it's going to continue to be. It's been awesome.
Well, I thank you for these guys thinking enough of it that you're saying, oh, bring that guy over, let's talk to him. So here I am. Thank you.
I have to tell you, they said that the very first thing. First off, you got to talk to Max. It all started there, and I'm like, okay, I definitely want to talk to him, and you have not disappointed. I think this has been really, really fun.
Thank you very much.
Marching Arts Education is the home of the Marching Roundtable podcast. We give you access to the top marching arts professionals through live webinars, podcasts, videos, interviews, and online coursework. With over 1,000 podcasts and hundreds of webinars and videos, there are hours of great professional development for you and your staff. Sign up for a membership to Marching Arts Education to get complete access to all webinars, videos, and podcasts, plus discounts on coursework. Many directors are using professional development funds through their school or boosters to make these resources available to their staff. Imagine what you could do with so many great new ideas from the top professionals in our activity. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up for our newsletter to find out about the latest podcasts, webinars, and new content. Find all of this and sign up at marchingartseducation.com.